100 video, first video, is Mega Man 2. When I was a wee little boy, in my hand. Mega Man 2 being one of the first games that I ever played. It's the reason I listen to dubstep. First video. This little ditty made its way onto the Nintendo Entertainment System about 2 years before I was even born, which is about 1.3 years before I was... oh god. The Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, was a revolutionary box of tech that could manage like 5 sounds at one time all ran through a cyber harmonica and the static sounds of a poltergeist. The NES revolutionized a simple box design with both its console, cartridges, and controllers. Steve Jobs think he fight all over the rectangle, but file be damned if the Nintendongers didn't make some beautifully simplistic rectangles well beyond their years. Probably why they're going back to their roots right now. But this ain't about the NES, this is about the Mega Mans. Oh my god. So this game is structured into 2 difficulties, a game for babies, and you're gonna get murdered. This also comes from an era where there was a fair few amount of video games taking their influence from quarter hoarder arcades. Not all of them games were meant to be beat without thousands of years of practice, thus coining the term Nintendo hard, right? It's just hard to conceptualize considering the current state of difficulty in all things Nintendo. For the sake of demonstration and my mental emotional health, the majority of the clips that I've taken are from the easier mode. The game's more enjoyable that way for me considering I had a hard time getting into Dark Souls. And I like myself. And I'm not a sadomasochist. Alright, so you open the main menu and you're met with 8 dudes. These dudes all have special abilities and come at you with about 100 layer actions before you actually get to fight them. You got your typical earth, wind, fire, water, plus the added musical appearances of techno, metal, pop, rock, and... The premise of the game is that you're the good robot fighting all the bad robots, and all the bad robots were made by one Dr. Wily who wants to take over the world and has no relation to the Coyote. You, Mega Man, were built by one Dr. Light, who is a slow-talking old-timer. But it's cool, he's a homie. And he built you a hoverboard. So there's all these bad robot dudes you gotta blow up, so you get their powers, change your pantsuit to kill all the guys with terrifying new weaponry, including sharp metal blades, timed explosives, and bubbles. Yeah, go figure you kill the bubble guy first. Personally, I think he made a poor choice of weaponry. But before you can even get to the big bad robots to fight him, you gotta make your way through the golden era of 2D platforming. You got Mario, Sonic,
Donkey Kong.
and all these guys are wonderful platformer guys, but Mega Man and all his game is probs most def my fave for realsies. Okay, lies, it's Donkey Kong 2, but there's like a lot of nostalgia attached to that one, so it's not even fair. A button one of their pretty faces, and you're faced with loads of challenges on a complex stage. Each stage thematically set to the tune of the big baddie you're gonna go murder. Bubble Man's stage introduces 2 unique mechanics, which are water jumping and insta-death spikies. Basically, if you hold A long enough, you can jump as high as you'd like, but if you Icarus too hard, you'll turn into orbs and die. Metal Man has conveyor belts and the precursor to thwomps. Wood Man has forest creatures, such as bunny rabbits and fire-breathing dire wolves. Airman has floating head duders that rely on perfect synchronization of their spiky drill bits, or you risk plunging to the earth at terminal velocity. Flashman has slippery slidey floors and men in hazmat suits. Heatman has the blocks, probably one of the most iconic pieces of platforming in the Mega Man franchise, and Satan has
giant laser.
And Crashman, well, see, he's special. He's got the cool music and he's got the... Guys, we're in space. I want to be as cool as Crashman one day. When you turn the duders into orbs, you get their powers, and each power is kind of like a rock or a paper or a scissor that can be used against the other bad boys. For example, Woodman gets sawed by Metal, who in turn gives you leaf powers to ride the wind, so that you can descend to the depths of hell to send Satan to heaven. And as long as you're in your normal getup, you shoot your plasma cannon, so... Endgame Mega Man involves some intense use of items, some super challenging bosses, and a replay of all the duders that you just did. If you listen to the music, it gets a little bit more intense, it's a little more satisfying, it's a little more real. And oh my god, is that a Benedict Cumberbatch cameo? Don't be an idiot. Of course it is. So when you make it to the final boss, Guily Wily spoil the big man's big plans, the very end of all of this, well, I ain't gonna spoil it for you, but I will leave you with this meme. Also, here's a neat little trick that not a whole lot of people know about.
Hold A to charge your laser.